students, today let's study about the property of fluid which is called viscosity. And to actually explain, before explaining this, you have already studied about the frictional force in case of solid. As you know that if there are two solids and we have to simple, if we are moving them on each other, or we are sliding them on each other, then definitely due to that slide moment, due to this relative motion, one surface applies some internal resistance to another surface to retard this relative motion, and that internal resistance developed in the case of solid is called frictional force. You have already learned that. Same property can be in case of simple fluid. Like if fluid has different layers, then definitely and if that all those layers are moving with different velocities, so if they are moving with different velocities, then definitely they will carry different momentum with them. So due to that different momentum, layer will have tendency to conserve the momentum, to bring all the layers at constant momentum. So in this case, for the transport of momentum, suppose that this is a layer A and this is layer B. Layer A has greater velocity than layer B. So definitely what will be the tendency of layer A? Layer A will always tend to increase the velocity of layer B, so that they will become equal and constant, means their momentum will be constant throughout this, means it will transfer some of its momentum to this, and this is the transport of momentum also we called, means simple actually that I am not talking about transport phenomena. Simple, what is the viscosity I want to tell you. So the fastest moving layer will have tendency to increase or drag this layer into the greater velocity, and at the same time this layer which is of less velocity and or which is moving slower will have tendency to retard the motion of this fastest moving simple layer, means it will tend to retard this motion of the layer A. So there will be definitely some relative motion between these two layers, and due to this relative motion, simple, it have tendency to retard the motion of layer A, and layer A has tendency to increase the motion of layer B. So this, due to this relative motion, fluid will offer some resistance, internal resistance, to finally stop this relative motion, as this is unwanted case, and liquid wants to be in, also fluid wants to be in stable condition. To gain that stability, simply fluid will impart some internal resistance, and that internal resistance is known as, also in case of solid, if you want to say, then it is called frictional force. In case of fluids, we call it viscous force. This is also same as the frictional force. If two surfaces are sliding on each other, then there is some internal resistances produced in the body, and they will oppose the relative motion, and there will be some frictional force. As similarly, in case of fluid, there are so many layers with different velocities. So to bring the fluid in stable condition, there will be the development of some internal resistances inside the fluid, and they will have tendency to decrease the relative motion between the different layers. So that internal resistance is known as frictional force of fluid, or simple viscous force of fluid, and all this phenomena of liquid or properties of liquid is known as viscosity. So simple viscosity is nothing, it's a property of liquid in which liquid opposes the relative motion between different layers of the fluid if they have different momentum. Simple, I think it's clear to you what is the property of viscosity. It will arise only when liquid will be in motion. Simple, it will arise due to the motion of the fluid or liquid. Simple means if fluid will be in motion, and if they have different layers while moving, and if every layer has different velocity, then due to that velocity definitely there will be relative motion between those layers. So to bring the fluid in constant at constant velocity or constant momentum, liquid will apply, or to stop the relative motion, liquid will apply a resistance or a simple frictional force, and this property is known as viscosity. So I think it's clear to you what is viscosity. Simple, you have to keep friction in your mind. In case of solid, then definitely same case is here. Sorry, in case of fluid. Clear? Experimentally, if you want to observe for different fluid, there are different frictional force or not. So we can, for this experiment, let us suppose we are taking two plates in which one plate is fixed, and we are taking some fluid between them. Like if one is this plate and second is this plate, and there is some liquid between these all two plates. Now we have to keep this surface fixed, and we have to move this surface. Like I am giving some velocity to this surface, and due to this relative velocity, relative motion between these two plates, there will be some motion in this also, or displacement in the position of fluid inside. Like I am taking liquid oil this time, and also remove this oil and take honey between these two plates. You will observe that we have to apply more force to simple to slide this surface when we are taking honey. It means that in honey there are more internal resistance, more frictional force in comparison to in the case of solid or oil or water. So definitely due to, if internal forces, internal resistances are different, it means their viscous forces will be different. So the properties of viscosity in different liquids are different. So we can say that honey is more viscous than the oil, or simply oil is more viscous than the water. So we can easily even observe this thing, then honey has more viscosity than the case of oil or water. So I think now it's clear to you what is simple viscosity, what is viscous force, or how can we simple observe different taking different fluid, then in which viscosity is greater and viscosity is lower. Okay. So let's see what will be the formula to calculate the viscosity of any fluid, or viscous force or internal force developed in the fluid to retard the relative motion. See how to calculate what will be the viscosity and what will be the viscous force in the body. So taking the same example I have told you for experiment, in which let us suppose that on the application of force or on the application of this motion of this plate, there is in any time delta t, there is displacement in this layer is delta x, means the distance bf will be delta x, and simple if velocity is v and time interval is delta t, then definitely we can write it here. Also, as you know that there is producing a shearing strain in this body, as it is the same case as we have studied in the case of elasticity, modulus of I think rigidity, and if there is change in shape occur, then definitely there will be some shearing stress and shearing strain in the body. So as you know that there is some change in shape of this bit with the time, then definitely we can also find what will be the shear strain. And if you know that shear strain is simple, this displacement upon the original this original length to the change in this length. Actually, I am not talking about longitudinal strain. If you want to find out the shearing strain, you have to simply measure this angle, and if you will measure tan theta, then definitely you will find this relation delta x upon it, and this is called shear strain. Clear? I have already told that you in case of elasticity, so that's why I am not going to tell you. So this will be the shear strain in the body. So we can also find out with the time interval delta t what will be the change in shearing strain, and that will be simple shear strain per unit time or in the time interval delta t. So if you will write this delta x upon L upon delta t, then as you know that delta x by delta t will be velocity v upon L, we can write it. Clear? Now we can also find out what will be the shearing stress produced in the this body due to the application of this deforming force F at this plate. So what will be the shearing stress? Shear stress will be, simply you know that force per unit area. If A is the area of this cross-sectional area, then definitely we can find out what will be the shear stress that will be applied deforming force per unit area. Or simple you can also say that generated viscous force per unit area, or internal resistance in the body per unit area, or in the fluid per unit area. I think that's clear to you simply. So what is the there is a new quantity arises here, which will be the coefficient of viscosity. As in case of solid, you have modulus of rigidity, which will be the equal to the shear stress upon shear strain. Means and that modulus of rigidity tells us that material or solid is rigid or not, and how it is rigid, how can we change the shape of that material or not. If there will be simply large modulus of rigidity, then we will must have to apply large shear force to change its shape or size. So as in the case of liquid also, if there is large viscous force, then definitely we have to apply or simple the body will have more viscosity. In other way you can also say that if any fluid has greater viscosity, then definitely we have to apply more deforming force or more viscous force, or simple more force to produce some relative motion between the different layers of the fluid. So what will be the simple coefficient of viscosity? It is also a constant, as we have already studied modulus of rigidity. So we can also write here, this is also a modulus of, actually this is the case of fluid. Rigid word is in the case of solids, that's why we can't use that word here, rigidity. So that's why I am changing only the name, that is called the coefficient of viscosity here. So what will be the coefficient of viscosity? That will be simple shear stress upon shear strain. So what is the shear stress? As you know that it is F upon A, and shear strain change in some time interval, it is equal to V by L. Clear? So this is called the coefficient of viscosity for any liquid, and this coefficient tells us that how viscous is any liquid or not. If coefficient of viscosity is greater, then definitely fluid will have greater viscosity. If a coefficient of viscosity is smaller, then fluid will have smaller, I think, viscosity. Means that fluid will be less viscous than the greater coefficient of viscosity fluid. Clear? We can also change this if let's say one more thing. Suppose there is change in velocity del dv in time dt, and suppose that the simple, if actually in this case I have taken the case of two plates, means two extreme plates. If there are so many layers in the fluid, then suppose that between two layers the distance is delta x or dx, and to move or displace this by this force, the displacement is simply we can also find out simple displacement delta x in time, some time delta t or dt, and suppose that there is a relative velocity between these two plates are dv. Clear? If relative velocity between any two plates is dv, simple, and if there is displacement occurred in that, or simple the distance between these two layers is dx, then from here we can also write this equation, eta equal to f upon a dv upon dx. I think no confusion here. Simple, if this is the case of two extreme cases, means in which the velocity of this plate is 0 and the velocity of this plate is v. So simple change in velocity will be v. If we are taking the case of two layers between any two layers of liquid, and if there is relative velocity of them is dv, and this distance of these two plates are dx, then definitely we can write this equation as in this form. This quantity dv upon dx is known as velocity gradient. And if you know velocity gradient, then we can easily find out which layer is of greater velocity and which layer is of slower velocity, and what is the variation of velocity, means top to bottom or bottom to top velocity is increasing or decreasing. If velocity gradient is positive or negative, according to that you can easily know that. Simple, if going to upward, if this is positive, this means that from bottom to top the velocity of layers are increasing, and if it's negative then definitely it's decreasing. So we can easily find out what is the relative velocity, what will be the relative motion between different layers if you know this quantity velocity gradient. Clear? Simple. What is the coefficient of viscosity? Actually viscosity is a property, and that to measure that property, to know about that property, we assign or we calculate simply a coefficient which is called coefficient of viscosity, and this coefficient will tells us that body will be viscous or not, and what will be the viscous properties of the body. Means viscosity will be calculated in terms of this coefficient of viscosity. If simply coefficient of viscosity will be greater, then viscosity of that fluid will be greater, and if coefficient of viscosity will be smaller, then definitely viscosity of that fluid will be smaller. Clear? Means that fluid will be less viscous than the liquid. So let's see what is the unit of coefficient of viscosity. So with this we can also write down what is the unit. Simple, force per unit area, and definitely I want to actually write it directly. So firstly let's see what is the dimensional formula, after that I will tell you what is the units. So for dimensional formula, as you know that what is the dimensional formula of force, mlt minus 2 of area is L square, actually you will write, then it will comes to L minus 2 dv lt minus 1, and definitely there will be L minus 1. After solving all these things you will get m L minus 1 t minus 1. This is the dimensional formula of simple coefficient of viscosity. We can easily calculate it from here. Simple. Clear? So let's see what is the units of coefficient of viscosity. You can also define these units from the help of this formula, F equal to eta equal to F upon A dV by dx. Clear? So as you know that Newton meter upon meter square meter per second. So if you will solve this, you can also calculate what will be the unit, and definitely unit will be in this case Newton meter inverse second. Clear? Or you can simple write it Newton second per meter square. This is the unit of coefficient of viscosity, which is Newton second per meter square. Clear? So simply I think what is viscosity, it's clear to you. How can we know liquid fluid will be more viscous or less viscous, and what is the formula for the coefficient of viscosity, and how can we tell that body will fluid will be more viscous or less viscous by using this coefficient of viscosity, and how can we calculate it. Yeah. Now let's see what is the similarities and difference in the frictional force of solid and frictional force of fluid. Is means viscous force of fluid. So let's see similarities and difference. There are also some different name of this unit of coefficient of viscosity. In MKS system, the unit is known as Poisson. Actually, this is the name of scientist who worked in this field, and later I will tell you what is the formula of Poisson. And after this name, to give him credit, we use the unit of coefficient of viscosity by using his name. So simple, 1 Poisson equal to 1 Newton second per meter square. Or simple, if you want to write it in as a unit of pressure, or in case of Pascal, you can also write it 1 Pascal second. Clear? 1 Newton per meter square equal to 1 Pascal, and we can write it 1 Pascal second. So these are all the units of coefficient of viscosity in MKS system. Simple, in MKS system, coefficient of viscosity is denoted by Poisson or Pascal second. Clear? Or you can also denote it by Newton second per meter square. In CGS system, it is denoted by simple. Also, you can convert all these in CGS system, means dyne per centimeter square per second. Also, you can write it. But the simple CGS system unit is poise, and 1 poise equal to 10 poise. So this is the simple CGS unit of coefficient of viscosity, which is poise, and the MKS unit is Poisson. 1 Poisson equal to 10 poise. So I think this unit is now clear to you. Simple. We can also find out what will be the relative viscosity. If there are two liquids, then we can easily find out relative viscosity between them. So simple, relative viscosity is also can be defined in the same way as we define relative density. Like a relative density is defined by the density of substance to the density of water. So relative viscosity is also defined by the simple viscosity of the given liquid to the viscosity of water. So what will be the relative viscosity? Equal to simple viscosity of given liquid to the viscosity, or if I want to write in this form, eta L to eta W, means viscosity of liquid to the viscosity of water. We can easily solve what will be the relative viscosity, and by using actually relative viscosity, we can compare that given liquid is more viscous in comparison to water or not. In the same way, we can compare if we want to take blood as the liquid example of liquid. So after calculating this relative viscosity, you will get some values of this, positive value of this, and definitely that will tell us that blood is more viscous than water. So simple, you can easily compare, you can easily relate the viscosity of liquid with the viscosity of water in the same manner as we do with the relative density. Clear? Now let's see what is the similarities and difference of viscous force and in between the viscous force and the frictional force as in case of solid. Means both are the frictional force, one is in fluid and one is in solid. So there are some similarities and there are some difference. So let's see what is the similarity and what are the. So let's see what are the similarities between viscous force and frictional force in solid. First thing is that as you know that both are arises due to the relative motion between any two surface or any two the layer of the liquid fluid. So this is both arises due to relative motion. Second, both have tendency to retard the relative motion, or in simple way, both oppose relative motion. In case of solid, it opposes the relative motion between the surfaces in contact, and in case of fluid, it opposes the relative motion between any two layers of the liquid. Third, both actually act tangentially opposite to the direction of motion. Means the direction of both are as you know that in case of solid, if there is a surface contact with it and we are applying some force in this direction, and definitely the direction of frictional force will be opposite and tangentially to the surface and in opposite direction. So this is the same case in case of fluid. If you will apply some force on the fluid in this direction, then definitely there will be some development of internal resistance which will oppose which will oppose the relative motion and will act tangentially in opposite direction. Fourth similarity is that both are due to the molecular forces. Means due to the agent of molecular forces, both are arise. Means there are some molecules, and definitely due to the relative motion in molecules there will be some generation of forces, and that forces are actually develop internal resistance or viscous force. So there is also the case of molecular forces in both. So these are the similarities. Simple. First is that in both there is relative motion. Both oppose relative motion between the surface or between the simple different layers. Third, they will act tangentially or simple they act tangentially up in opposite direction to the direction of motion. And force both arises due to molecular forces. Now let's see what are the difference in frictional force of fluid and frictional force of solid. So firstly, to see the difference, let's see on which factors they are dependent. So in case of fluid, frictional force depends upon the area of contact. As you have seen the formula, eta equal to F upon A and upon dV upon dx. So it means that it will depends upon the area of contact. Clear? Second, relative velocity between the different layers, dV. Third, thickness of the different layers, dx. Means upon all these factors it will depend the frictional force of fluid. Simple, you have to keep this formula in your mind. F upon A dV upon dx. It means that eta will depends upon force. Actually I'm not taking this factor because it will be similar because I have already told you similarities means they both are due to arrangement of the molecular forces, so that will be same in both cases. We are talking about the difference. So for the difference I am taking other factors on which this coefficient of viscosity depends on. First is area of contact. Second is relative velocity between two different layers or different plates. Third is what is the thickness of that layer or plate. Three. Now comes to the topic of frictional force in case of solid. So as you know that frictional force in case of solid is independent of area of contact. First, it is dependent, and in case of solid the frictional force is independent of the area of contact. Second, it is also independent of the relative motion or relative velocity. Third, it also independent of the thickness of the plate or what is the simple thickness of the plate. Means it also independent of this factor. Means at all these factors frictional force of fluid depends, but at all these factors frictional force of solid is independent to all these factors. So these are the difference. Also you know that frictional force of solid depends upon on the normal reaction produced in the body due to the application of force, but in case of fluid don't depends upon the simple normal reaction produced in the liquid. So I think now it's clear to you what is the similarity and difference. So that's why we have to study frictional force of fluid in different manner and as a different topic. So that's why we are at least studying the properties of fluid here. It's clear to you now, simple. If a fluid is in motion, there will be arrangement of a property which is called viscosity. It will oppose the relative motion between different layers of the velocity, simple different relative motion of the different layers of the liquid. And also due to that you can calculate eta. If a value of eta will be greater, then definitely there will be greater viscosity. We can also calculate relative viscosity, means we can relate the viscosity of any liquid to the viscosity of water, and we can easily tell that that liquid will be more or less viscous than the water. And also what are the similarities with the solid frictional force, means solid frictional force have different properties, and these have different, only the main similarity is that they both arises due to relative motions and molecular forces. So in next class we will study what is the Poiseuille experiment and what is the Poiseuille formula for to calculate this coefficient of viscosity. He actually gave a theory to a very easy way to calculate this coefficient. So in next class let's see that. So let's end the class here. Thank you.